Hello, you beautiful, thriving woman. This is Heather Dunlop, founder of Thriving Woman. And what I want to share with you today is why you need to be an assertive woman. So there's a few things that go on when you become assertive and really own who you are. And there is a difference between being aggressive and being assertive. Being aggressive feels like it's a fight coming at you and someone's attacking you or you're attacking them and you're really getting up in them and coming with this really kind of fight type of energy. When you're assertive, you're calm, you stand your ground, and you state your purpose, you state your voice, you state your response, you own who you are. So there's a big difference between being aggressive and being assertive. And on the opposite end of the spectrum is being passive. So just kind of waiting and watching and letting everybody else do their thing and going along with what they want and never really doing what you want to do. And then, of course, there's passive aggressive, where someone really sits back and never says to your face what they mean or what they want, and they kind of come at you from the backside and have someone come around at you, and it seems like it comes out of nowhere. So one of the most comfortable places to be is to be an assertive woman, and that's when you really define your own boundaries. So there's 5 things we're going to talk about very briefly today on why you need to be an assertive woman. And the first one is define your boundaries and also enforce your boundaries. When you're assertive, people know where you stand and they know what they can or cannot get away with, so to speak. It allows you to really own who you are and stand in your power, stand in your voice. And when you set your boundaries, they know where you stand. So you're not wishy-washy. If you're wishy-washy, you don't have boundaries. And one of the things you can do, something that I do with boundaries, I've got very set, defined boundaries on certain things that I truly believe in, truly want in my life. Then there's other things where it doesn't matter to me which way we go. So say, for example, if we're going to go out to dinner and I want Italian, well, that's setting my boundary that, yeah, I really want Italian tonight. And other times we go out and I really don't care where we eat. We can go Chinese, Mexican, get a burger, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So when I am defined in what I want, I assert myself and I assert my voice and I let it be known what I'm looking for. And that way people know how to give it to you. When you're wishy-washy, they can't give it to you. When you say, this is what I want, this is where I stand, this is what I believe in, people can help support you and help you achieve your goal. So that's the first thing you want to do, is define your boundaries and enforce your boundaries. The second reason why you want to be an assertive woman is because it does help prevent a possible attack on you, whether it's a verbal attack or a physical attack. So, for example, if you're in the workplace and people know that you are not someone they can walk all over, they're less likely to come at you and kind of push their work on you and dump all their stuff that they don't want to do on your desk and say that, well, they gave it to you, so it's up to you to do it. That doesn't happen when you say, hey, no, I'm not taking that work. That's your assignment. You need to take care of that. I've got my own work to do. I've got my own schedule, and I'm going to stick to it. Then they're like, oh, okay. They might start to get aggressive with you. You don't have to respond with aggression. You can respond in an assertive manner and just say, hey, this is not acceptable to me. You need to take your work and go do it, or you need to see if you can find someone else to do it, because I don't have the time and I'm not willing to do it at this point. And you just state your voice, state your opinion. You don't have to get aggressive back, because sometimes when someone gets very aggressive with you, they're looking to pick a fight. And you don't want to get pulled into that, because it swirls down. But when you stand in your power and stand in your voice and you hold your boundaries and you're assertive with what you say, and not only what you say, how you carry yourself, they're not going to push things on you. And that's one of the things, if you ever notice with bullies always go for the weak link. They always go after the weak ones. And if you don't appear weak, they're not going to come after you. They're not going to attack you. They're not going to try and dump on you. And that's one of the things that you want to do, is to be an assertive woman. Even when you're walking down the street, how you hold yourself, how you walk down the street, you can walk with assertive, walk with a purpose, as we used to say back in New York, and walk toward your destination, right? If you're just kind of wandering and looking up at the tall buildings in the sky and floating around, yeah, you're very open to attack because you don't appear to be even aware of what you're doing. So that's the second reason you want to be assertive, is to prevent a possible attack, whether it's physical or verbal. The third reason you want to be assertive is it helps you find your voice, right? When you know what you want, when you've set your boundaries, then you speak up and you say what they are, and you say what you are willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And it helps you find your voice. And when you find your voice, other people know where you're at, and there's clear communication. So they're not left in a state of confusion or being unsure about what you're looking for. For example, in the workplace, if you're being wishy-washy, you're going to say, hey, would you mind helping me out with this if you've got some time? And people will be like, well, no, I don't want to do that. And you're like, okay. Now, if you come at it from the perspective of someone who's assertive, you say, hey, I'm running short on this. I see that you've got an opening in your schedule. Would you be able to work on this for me and help me out? I'd really appreciate it. Totally different tone of voice, totally different way of presenting it. You're more likely to get what you want in the second situation because you're asserting what you want, the time frame, and that you are also recognizing what their schedule looks like. So you're not pushing it on them in an aggressive manner, saying, you've got to get this done for me. You're saying, hey, I see you've got an opening in your schedule. It looks like you might have the time to work on this. Can you help me out because I'm running behind? So you're filling in a couple things there. You're acknowledging them, you're showing respect for their time, you're only asking for a portion of their time, you're not dumping all of the work on them, and you're asking them to do it to help you because of X reason. We never use that word because. It gains a lot more cooperation from other people because they're given a reason. Even if that reason doesn't make sense, they're much more likely to help you when you say because. So find your voice. Don't be wishy-washy about it. When it's something that's important to you and it's something that you know you need to get done, something you want to accomplish, something you believe in, stand in your voice and speak from a place of an assertive woman. Fourth thing, you get to stand in your power. So being an assertive woman doesn't just come from the words you say, it's how you say it, it's your tone of voice. It's also how you carry your body. So if you're just kind of really like a limp noodle and wishy-washy, yeah, you're going to get thrown all over the place. People are going to walk down the street and bump into you, and you'll be, bumping into buildings or bumping into people. And, that used to happen. I'd see that all the time when I was working in New York City. I go through Penn Station during rush hour, and it's crazy busy during rush hour. And you could see people who didn't kind of stand in their own body, and they had no idea how to be assertive and walk to their destination and get where they want to go. So they'd be going through this crowd, and you'd see them get knocked down, bumped by other people, and all of a sudden they're going like this, and then they're falling into another person. And they wanted to go to the shop that's on the left side of the walkway, but now all of a sudden they're on the right side against the wall, and there's a ton of people in between them, and they're trying to figure out how to get through this. Well, the difference is, as we used to say in New York, walk with a purpose. I'm here, I'm going there, I'm just going to stand in my body, and I'm going to walk. I'm not going to dilly-dally. I don't have to run, but I just walk, and I know my destination. You keep your head up, you watch where you're going, you're aware of what's happening around you. I just head to my destination. It was extremely, extremely rare that someone bumped me and I got knocked off my course. It was common for people to bump into me and then get thrown off their course because I stood in my power and I owned where I was going, and I was walking with a purpose, right? I wasn't aggressive because they bumped into me and they just didn't get to knock me over. But they were falling and wishy-washy and things like that. But because I was assertive and I had a destination and I was standing in my body and walking with a purpose, focused on where I was going, I rarely got thrown off track. So stand in your power. The fifth thing that happens when you're an assertive woman It's wonderful. You get to gain confidence in yourself, you gain self-respect, and you own your worth. And all of that happens as a result of you learning to own your voice. You set your boundaries. You do not let people push you around physically or verbally. And you are someone who they know that they can trust because you're steady and you're also calm. And when you are calm and steady and assertive, people will pay attention and they will know that you mean what you are saying. They're not going to say, oh, well, she said this, but what she really meant was that. She said that she wanted Italian for lunch, but what she really meant was that she wanted to go out for Mexican. No, I said I want Italian. If I don't care, I'll tell you it doesn't matter to me and we can go wherever. But if I want Italian, I'm going to tell you I want Italian. And if you don't want Italian, well, that opens up a conversation where we can have an actual discussion, which is fine. I don't have to push and bully my way through, because if I do, that's becoming aggressive. That's aggressive behavior. Whereas we can compromise and we can say, well, hey, do you mind going out for Italian today? And next time we go out, whatever you want, we'll go. That's a compromise, and I'm still being assertive, not being aggressive though. And then one of the most important things that you want to do when you understand is that when you're being assertive, it's not about pushing over and bullying over and forcing other people to your way of being. You can do it with being kind and being loving. And just being assertive is about setting your boundaries, owning your voice, standing in your power. And the result is that you're going to gain confidence in yourself. You're going to gain respect for yourself, and you're going to own your worth. And even the secondary result is that other people will treat you with respect because they see that you own your voice and you're someone who is an assertive woman standing in your power. So I want to make sure that you become an assertive woman. And one of the things I want to share with you right now is a command. So repeat this after me. I command that I am now ready to stand in my power and own my voice. I command that my boundaries be respected. I am ready to be powerful and strong while being kind and loving. I am ready to live the life I am meant to live. I am ready. I own my voice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. So what I want to share with you is that if you are unapologetically ready to follow your inner calling and rebirth your life, I invite you to a free chat with me. It's a free Thriving Woman planning session. So just book on my calendar at thrivingwomanchat.com, where I'll share with you some of my most potent work. And what we'll get as the result is that you get to step into your defined femme power and really step into becoming a thriving woman. So I can't wait to hear about you so we can map out your plan. So book in at thrivingwomanchat.com and we'll get you set for your first session. Make it an awesome day.